Okay, let's talk about some bones in particular, certain bones. We have bones that are tons of different shapes. They're created for different meanings. Of course, we were created by God. He is a designer. He designs the bones in specific ways that we're going, whatever they are meant to do, that is the shape and the design and the function that He wanted them to have. So for the spine, so the adults, if you're an adult, you have 33 vertebrae at an adult spinal cord. Each bone in, you see how we have each bone in the backbone, okay, is called a vertebrae. Okay, so I want you to turn around, okay, and kind of touch, okay, back. This is your backbone, your vertebrae. Vertebrae? I don't know. Vertebrae? Your spine is very important. Okay, it allows you, okay, to move. So I want you to move side to side, move back, move up. Okay, it helps you stand. Okay, it helps you sit up straight. Okay, thank God right now for our spine because it is very important for how we can function and move every day. Now, all the vertebrae together are called the spinal column. So it is the main support of our body structure. Then it is designed and possible for us to bend and move in all different places. But that's not the only thing that it does. It also, very important function of the spinal column is to protect our spinal cord. Okay. Inside, if you look on your page, on page 6, you'll see that you'll see a picture of the vertebrae, and the vertebrae has a hole in it because the vertebrae are actually, okay, there's holes in it, and inside each vertebrae, there is a long cord called the spinal cord, and it's full of nerves, and they connect to every part of your body from your spinal cord. So your brain talks to these nerves if you want to do anything. Okay, so me right now, but let's say I'm sitting here and I want to pick up my book. My brain has to say, okay, hand, pick up their book. And it sends like a message all the way down my spinal cord. It says, pick up your book, pick up your book, pick up your right hand, pick up your right hand, pick up your right hand. And my hand gets it, okay, and then it picks it up. And then I want to put it down. And so it goes back up and says, put it down, put it down, put it down. And my hand gets it. Now, it happens extremely fast. We don't realize that we're doing it. Okay? But it is very important to protect your spine because if your spine is hurt, then a lot of functions of your body might not work. That's why if you've ever seen someone that's paralyzed, they cannot move their body from waist down or maybe neck down. It's because their spinal cord, their vertebrae, maybe that it was cut, it was damaged, and so therefore the brain can't get the messages to those nerves. And so it is very important to have good posture. It is very important to stand correctly, learn how to lift things correctly. It's very important to have good posture because the way that you stand, the way that you sit, what you do, taking care of our spine is very important. And when you're a kid, it might not notice it, but once you get older and older, you're not just like for me, my neck constantly hurts. And I actually have this contraption that pushes my shoulders back so that I'm in a correct posture so that because my body, my spinal cord or my spinal column has gotten used to me having, putting my shoulders forward. And so therefore it's starting to not work, correctly and to hurt. So you need to make sure to protect your spinal cord so you can have, good posture, good bones. It won't, start looking funny, growing funny ways. Protect our spinal column cord. That is very, very important. Let's see, how long have I been recording? I hate that it doesn't show me how long I've been recording up there. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about, another group that we're going to talk about that is very important. Oh, one more thing about your backbone, okay? It comes together with cartilage. So cartilage is in between every part of your backbone like we talked about earlier, and that's a very important part so that again allows for the flexibility so they're not all fused together. If they're all fused together, you would have to move like this, okay? But since they're not fused together, they have cartilage in between, they have small movable joints in between. You can move and bend and shake and dance or whatever you want to do. So that's very important. Another thing that we're going to talk about are your ribs. Your ribs have 12 curved pair of bones that are up at your chest, and they protect your vital organs. They protect your lungs. They protect your heart specifically, and all your organs that are from here up, they protect them. So that way, if anything hits you, okay, then it will hit your chest bone, it will hit your ribs, and it will not hit your very important heart and lungs and stuff like that. Now, if you see here, okay, it's cartilage. Okay, this is connected to cartilage. Again, that makes it a little more flexible because your rib cage, every time you breathe, okay, I want you to put one hand on your stomach, one hand here, and I want you to breathe from what we call the diaphragm or the stomach part. Okay, you feel it moving, right? You feel it moving. Okay, your rib cage, when you breathe, actually expands, okay, and goes, and that's helpful. It's a little flexible because of the cartilage. Now, all of the bones except for, okay, these at the bottom are connected to the breastbone, okay, which, okay, if you feel this right here, go ahead and touch that, okay? That's called your sternum. Okay, so your rib cage, okay, your sternum, that again gives you the shape that we have so that our chest, okay, doesn't sink in. Okay, if we didn't have our ribs, our chest would be like, okay, it allows it to go out. All of them are connected to your breastplate or your breastbone or your sternum. Now, again, if you see, okay, we have our collarbone or what we call the clavicle. That is connected to, we need to, like, I'm thinking of that song, like, the sternum's connected to the clavicle. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. So the clavicle is connected to your sternum. And that, okay, so right here, touch your clavicles. Okay, and that's what makes your shoulders or your arms, okay, go out like this. When you break, some people break their clavicles, okay, and if you break your clavicle, okay, your shoulder actually droops in, okay, towards yourself, and so your clavicle allows your arms to be out beside. Okay, then we have the shoulder blade, or what we call the sternum, and the scapula, and the scapula kind of reminds me of something that you should, like, doctors use, but that your shoulder bone connects to your arm. Okay, so it allows your arm and connect to your collarbone. Okay, so it's all connected. So again, these are very important. Okay, you have to hold up your body to protect, okay, your body, but to give it shape. Okay, the Lord knew what He was doing when He created your bones and how He wanted them to be. So it's very important to learn those things about your body, and it just gives us more reason to be in awe of God and how He created us. Okay, we're going to do part 3. Okay. Seemingly, I always say pretty quickly, but I end up talking. So I will see you in part 3.